So this topic is my wheelhouse. And if you don't listen to anything else I say about any other topic, listen to what I have to tell you in this episode. Welcome to Hey Beautiful Creative, the podcast designed to inspire and empower creative entrepreneurs just like you. Whether you're a full-time artist or crafter, a side hustler, or someone dreaming of starting your own creative business, this show is your new best friend, here to support and encourage you on your journey in creative entrepreneurship. I'm your host, Torie Nguyen. With over 2 decades of experience selling my handmade goods online, to boutiques, and at markets, I've been where you are and I'm here to help you grow. My best friend and I also own 2 retail stores and organize large craft markets, which gives me a unique perspective on combining creativity with effective business strategies from both sides of the table. Each week we'll dive into practical business and marketing tips, inspiring artist interviews, and the motivation you need to take your creative dreams and make them your reality. Whether you're looking to boost your confidence, refine your business skills, or take actionable steps toward your goals, this podcast will leave you energized and ready to chase your dreams. Hey, beautiful creative. Welcome to this week's show. I'm your host, Torie Nguyen, and I want to take a moment to celebrate with you because this is our 10th episode. And I've heard somewhere that a lot of podcasters don't make it to 10 episodes. People start, they're excited about it, realize it takes quite a bit of work, and then they fizzle out. So let's celebrate. We made it to 10. I'm planning to keep going, and I'm really enjoying showing up every week, coming up with topics to talk about. If you have topics that you want to hear, please do reach out to me. On Instagram, I'm at Hey Beautiful Creative. I would love to hear from you. And I just want to thank you for listening. I hope that you're finding things helpful and inspiring. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm doing this. And I really want to help you grow your business or start your creative business. And I want to help you make all the money you can. So let's do this. Now, I'm recording this in October, which means the holidays are coming up. Hopefully, this means you have some craft markets lined up. And I want to give you my top 10 tips that you can do in advance to minimize stress on the day of the market and to set yourself up for maximum success. You can use these tips any time of year. It doesn't have to be just during the holiday season. Now, if you've listened to episode 1, you know that I've been selling at markets since the very first Renegade Craft Fair in Chicago, way back in 2003. Yes, that makes me feel old to say that. And if you listen to episode 2, you also know that I organize a large craft market with my best friend. We've been doing that for almost 20 years. So this topic is my wheelhouse. And if you don't listen to anything else I say about any other topic, listen to what I have to tell you in this episode. I have tons of experience as both a market seller and a market organizer, and I am sharing my best tips with you to make your life easier. And I really don't declare with that much confidence most things, so just that's my disclaimer. I do feel confident that I know what I'm talking about when it comes to craft markets. So let's get into it. Here are my top 10 things that you can do in the time leading up to a market that will make your prep easier, reduce stress, and put you in a good place to sell your heart out and make lots of money. Number 1, plan out production. Set a goal for how much you want to have of each product, and then work backward and figure out a production schedule. I often print out a free calendar page from the internet that's just like a month that's blank, and I use that to really lay it out and visualize which day I'm going to be working on which things. And I generally will set like an ultimate goal of let's say I want to have 10 pairs of this specific design of earrings. Well, I might not make it to 10. I might only have time to do 5 or 6. So I kind of give myself a little bit of padding, but I set kind of an ultimate goal. And then I also have I would be happy with this number goal. And then, I work backwards. So if I want to have that much made by the time the market happens, how much do I need to make each week? And which days am I going to fit that into my schedule? This will also help you realize if you need to order any of your supplies. You can kind of look through and see what you have as you're planning out your schedule. So you know if you need to order something, and that way you'll have it when you're ready to start working on that product. Number 2, create a craft market prep checklist that you can refer to each time you're preparing for a market. Take a few minutes to sit down and just brain dump everything you can think of that you do when you're getting ready, everything that you need to pack, and then keep that close by as you're actually preparing for this next market. And then you can add things to that list and create a master checklist that you keep with your craft fair supplies so that you can refer to that so you're not reinventing the wheel every time and trying to remember what you need. This will help keep you from forgetting things. I will tell you the number one item that I see people forget is a chair. And probably the second item is that they forget to get cash if they are going to be giving change. So if you have those things on your checklist, you'll be less likely to forget them, and you'll show up all prepared when you get to the market. Number 3, do a supply check as far in advance from the market as you can. So scope out your supply of bags, business cards, any boxes that you'll need, anything that you typically bring, like tissue paper if you need that. Whatever type of supplies you're going to need at the market, order those as early as you can so you're not scrambling at the last minute. It's very stressful when you're waiting for those to be delivered and you've cut it really close and maybe they do or don't make it in time for the market. So definitely add the supply check to your prep checklist. Number 4, keep a bin of craft market supplies and go-to displays. I like to keep all of my display stuff together in a box, and then I know where it is. And I also have a pouch that has scissors, a pen and pencil, an eraser, Band-Aids, extra price tags, a little bit of extra business cards, safety pins, all of my price signs. And I keep all of that stuff in this little pouch, and I put the pouch with all of my displays so that I have it at every show, and I'm not having to try to remember to bring a pencil and a pen and scissors and tape and all of those little things. Like those are my dedicated ones that stay in the pouch, and they come with me to every market. I highly recommend doing that. And having all of my displays together makes it easy to figure out which ones I need and which ones I want to bring. Then I'm not digging all around through my house trying to figure out where everything went. Number 5, this is my biggest tip. Unless you do weekly markets. If you do a weekly market and your display is totally dialed and all you're doing each week is replenishing your stock, you don't need to do this. But if you are someone who does fewer markets, or maybe you're trying out some new displays or new products, listen up for this one. This is my favorite tip. Set up your display at home. And we do, at Crafty Wonderland, we do recommend this to people all the time. If you have the space in your home, tape off on the floor the amount of space that your booth is, and make sure you're referring back to the information about the show so you tape off the appropriate amount of space. But it will really help you visualize to see in 3 dimensions how much is a 5 by 10 space or how much is a 10 by 10 space, so that you can then put your tables in it and figure out where your body is going to go. People very often forget to leave space for themselves in their booth display. So setting it up at home is going to give you a real advantage in knowing exactly where you're going to stand and how you're going to get in and out of the booth. You want to leave some space for yourself to get in and out, because it's definitely a no-no to use your neighbor's booth as a cut-through. People don't really want to have you walking through their booth space to get in and out of your booth. So when you're planning out your booth, if you can, tape off that amount of space, set up all of your display fixtures, tables, shelves, whatever you're planning to use, and then you can really get a good visual for how that's going to look and how customers will flow through there. If you have a large enough booth, do you want the shoppers to enter into your space, or do you want your tables to be at the perimeter and you're the only one who's in the space? Those are things to think about in your layout. And it's a lot easier to figure that out at home than on the day of the market. Another benefit to setting up your display at home is if you're like me and you have maybe a handful of different trays and fixture type items that you use, you can figure out exactly which ones you're going to be using for that specific event. So you're not hauling all of your display things with you. You're only bringing what you need. So I like to set up my tables in my basement, and I put out all my boxes and trays and necklace hangers. I make jewelry, and I figure out which jewelry items are going on which display. So I get it all laid out. I assign, like, these earrings are going on this tray, these necklaces are going on this hanger. That helps me know exactly what to bring. Once you have it dialed and you have it all figured out, take a picture or two. And then when you're at the market, you can refer to that photo. It's going to make your day so much easier. You might think you'll remember how you set it up, but trust me, you won't. And you won't remember every little detail. So once you get it exactly how you like it, take some pictures of it that you can refer back to when you're on site. It's going to make it so much easier. So I get it all set up. I figure out what goes where. I take a photo. Then I can pack down all my display fixtures that I'm bringing, and they're ready to go. So that part's done, and I'm all packed and ready. And you're going to be a lot less likely to forget something if you've done all of that in advance. One other thing that I like to do is, since I make jewelry and I only put out one of each item at a time, I'll pick out what's going where, and then I set one of each aside separately from my back stock so that when I am going to set up, I already have one of each item ready, and I have them grouped in bags for which display fixture they're going on. So I don't have to go digging through all my back stock, trying to figure out, did I grab one of every color of this bead? Did I grab one of each of these zodiac sign necklaces? I already know I did because I've done it in advance, and I can just take my time then setting it up. So I highly, highly recommend setting up your display at home for multiple reasons. Let me know if you do that. If you've never done that and then you do it, let me know how it goes and if it's a total game changer for you. I also think if you're newer at markets, it's really going to alleviate a lot of stress if you get all of that worked out ahead of time, and you can show up prepared and feel more relaxed during your setup, because you may only have 1 or 2 hours to get your booth set up, and you're going to want to not feel frantic during that time, because that will set off your energy in the wrong direction for the rest of the day. Number 6, ask a friend or a partner or someone you know to help you in your booth if you think it's going to be a busy show, or if it's a long day. You're probably going to want to take breaks to use the restroom. You're probably going to get hungry and want to eat. If you don't know anyone or don't have anyone or no one is available, when you get to the market, introduce yourself to your booth neighbors and just ask if anyone would be available to keep an eye on your booth if you need to run to the restroom, and offer to do the same for them. It is really nice, though, if you have someone helping you in your booth, because if it does get a little busy, you can maximize your sales. You can each be helping people. You can each be ringing people up. And it gives you a little bit of a chance to also maybe walk around the market if you want to look around and have, a more relaxing experience if you need to go to the bathroom so you're not feeling like you're missing out while you're outside of your booth. Number 7, remember to charge your devices. Bring backup chargers if possible, and get cash. So charge your Square reader or whatever payment processor you have. If you're using an iPad or a phone, make sure those are well charged. And if it's going to be a long day, you may need some sort of backup power. Those are some great things to have on your craft fair prep checklist as well. Number 8, familiarize yourself with the load-in instructions and keep them somewhere handy where you can find them quickly. I would look at them before you leave, like the night before the event or before you're going to load in. Make sure you know where you're going, any instructions the organizers have given you about what to do when you get there or where to park. You want to make sure you're following their directions. And it's also going to be a lot less stressful for you if you have an idea of what you're supposed to do and where you're supposed to go. And I would maybe file them, make a folder, an email folder, or however the information is communicated with you. Put it somewhere where you can easily find it and reference it in case you forget on the way. It's going to make the organizers a lot happier too if you're following their directions, because I'm sure they've spent a lot of time explaining how to check in, where to go, where to park. So make sure you're following those directions and that you're familiar with them. And it will also just lower your own stress level to know what's expected, where to go. Item number 9, pack snacks, pack a lunch, and bring water. You may be selling at an event that has food carts or other food options, and so maybe you're planning on getting lunch there, but it's always a good idea to bring something as a backup or at least some snacks, because sometimes the lines at the food carts get really long and it can take a long time to get your food, and then you're gone from your booth for quite a while. So I like to have some protein bars or granola bars or some sort of easy snack that I can eat kind of quickly, just in case, because you don't want to get hangry. And definitely drink lots of water. So bring something to stay hydrated. This is where if you have a friend or someone helping you, it can come in really handy, or maybe they'll bring you lunch. Or they can sit in your booth while you step out and have lunch. But I think you'll have a better day if you keep your blood sugar level. So make sure you're eating and taking care of yourself. And number 10, my last tip, get lots of rest the night before. It's going to be a big day. You're going to be hauling stuff from your house to your vehicle or whatever mode of transportation you're using into the venue, setting it up, and then selling all day, and then packing it all back down and taking it back home. It's going to be really tiring. So do yourself a big favor. Get a good night's sleep. You'll have such a better day if you're well rested. And I don't know why this is, but I've talked to so many other makers and artists who have said the same thing. In my experience, whatever I've stayed up late working on the night before never sells. I've somehow given it weird energy or tired energy or something. And so finally I've learned over the years to just not finish that one product. It's like this, it's not worth me being super tired to try and finish this one thing. And I really don't know why that works that way. But most people will tell you whatever it is that you're up late trying to finish is the item that then seems cursed and doesn't sell. So just, you could even maybe bring it with you and try to finish it that day in between things if there's extra time. But just do yourself a big favor and go to bed and get a good night's rest. So those are my top 10 tips for your craft fair prep. Number 1, plan out production. Number 2, create a checklist that you can refer to each time. Number 3, double check all of your supplies to see if you need to order anything. Number 4, keep a bin of craft market supplies and go-to displays so you have everything in one place. Number 5, and the best one, set up your display at home. Number 6, ask someone to help you the day of the event. Number 7, charge all your devices and get cash. Number 8, familiarize yourself with load-in instructions and keep them somewhere handy. Number 9, be sure to bring snacks, lunch, and water. And 10, get lots of rest the night before. If you would like even more tips and some things that you can do on the day of the event, get my 5 smart strategies for boosting your craft market sales. It's a free downloadable PDF. It's packed with my top tips for making the most of your space and increasing your sales. I'm happy to give it to you for free, and you can grab that at heybeautifulcreative.com/markets. I'll also link it in the show notes. So go to heybeautifulcreative.com/markets. Grab your 5 smart strategies for boosting your craft market sales. And if pricing your work and selling it, either in person or online, is challenging for you, you're in luck. I'm launching a course called Fearless Selling for Creatives, and it's all about how to perfectly price and position your work and how to sell it without all the awkwardness. I'm a pretty shy, introverted person, so selling in person is definitely something that I'm always working on. Even selling online, just really putting myself out there, is something that I've been working on for 2 decades. And I've learned a lot, and I really want to share those things with you. So get on the list to be notified when that launches. That's at heybeautifulcreative.com/fearless. heybeautifulcreative.com/fearless. Get on the list to know when Fearless Selling for Creatives opens. Thank you for listening to the podcast. I'm so excited to have 10 episodes out in the world. And I want to take a minute to say thank you to Eric Gibbons, who is my partner in life and my incredible podcast editor. He takes out all the weird sounds I make and all of my stumbles while talking. And he also wrote and recorded all of the music that you hear on each episode. So thank you, Eric, for dedicating so much time to help me do this and for making me sound as good as possible and for giving me beautiful music to use on the show. I couldn't do this without you. I appreciate all of your support and encouragement. And with that, beautiful creative, I leave you until next week. Thank you so much for listening. Happy crafting, and get out there and make lots of money. If you enjoyed this episode or found it helpful, it would mean the absolute world to me if you would write a review, share it on your socials, or forward it to a friend. Be sure to subscribe or follow the show wherever you listen to your podcast so you don't miss out on upcoming episodes. And check out heybeautifulcreative.com for more resources designed to help you take your creative dreams and turn them into your reality. See you next week.